So, the hijacked heart. How has the heart been stolen, co-opted, controlled, misused? What is real service to others, to the world? There's this concept with the law of one that I don't agree with, by the way, that service to self or service to others, that sets up a dichotomy. Service to self, selfish, evil reptilians, service to others, sacrificing yourself for others. Is that not already a created duality? Is not true service to self, if self is one with all, is not true service to others, like Jesus says, he who's going to be the servant will be the master. Hi, Dennis. Absolutely, we're going to do that. By the way, you guys, excuse me, this was music. Now it's turned into a commercial. Let me pause that. And so if we are one, if we are souls that are a piece of the oneness, then obviously service to self is also service to the all at a certain point. And service to others, washing the feet of whatever, doing servicing, homeless, poor, helping feed the multitudes, is obviously service to self also. It's, I would suggest, so my understanding is coming, my masters have been telling me that, and this is part of the topic today, that keep it to myself. Keep it to myself, my understanding of myself. So, so I saw very clearly, I'm a heart person. We're different types of beings. We're mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, heart, Lucifer's included, of course. Greetings from South Africa. By the way, this is a super chat. I'm doing very little for money lately, except God taking care of me. So if you ever feel contributing to some of these chats or these live videos that they're helpful to you, there's a way to contribute some dollars, you know. I get a little jealous when I see all the super conspiracy theorists getting hundreds, $200 for their work and so forth. But I'm good. God takes care of me. I love God. Thank you for helping me. Anyway, you can contribute to this, if donate if you want. Appreciate it if you do. So, the heart is that feeling in us that we want to care. We're compassionate, right? I want to help the stranded motorist. I want to help the kitten with a broken leg. I want to rescue the baby bird that's fallen out of the nest, you know? All right, back to music. When did Pandora start doing freaking commercials? Stop doing that. All right. So this morning I'm feeling how my heart, I've been a heart person. I've kind of walked away from hedge fund jobs, bank jobs, business deals, stuff like that, which, you know, I've regretted sometimes, thinking that, you know, if you make the 10, my friends, you know, guys I used to work with, hang out with, building private hotels in Caribbean islands, and from the multi-millions they made in New York hedge funds. But I'm over that. Lately I cannot find any other soul I want to trade my life with at all. Paul McCartney? No. Sting? No. No, would never trade, because they have their path. We are exactly where we need to be. So the hijacked heart, that impulse of wanting to do good, do-gooders, bleeding hearts a little bit, right? Why does Jesus say we will always have the poor with us? Now Mother Teresa comes to mind, that super sacrifice of yourself for taking care of, quote, the poor and unfortunate. Now there's stories about her that there wasn't always unicorns and rainbows around what the work she did as well. So I don't think you can outsmart, outwit, and outplay the universe. Yeah, there's lots of fakery and misunderstanding about what's real heart. I just saw a thing with Will Smith's son is creating food carts around LA called It's All About Love or something. And yes, the impulse is great. But why do masters like Jesus say, we will always have the poor with us, don't obsess about feeding them? Why would he say that? You know, why are they masters tend to be more interested in my view, my understanding now, in teaching you to fish than rather just handing out fishes and loaves? Or how's fishes and loaves any different than bread and circuses? So I was feeling this morning how the heart, the goodness in our hearts, has been hijacked. An obvious one, in my opinion, is the quote progressive social justice warriors, that beautiful impulse of wanting to help save the world, but it turns violent. Beating, burning, fighting, violent murder, willing to kill. You know, a lot of that faction of Antifa really would enjoy having, people assassinated, killed. So that's obviously not of heart, even though it starts out as heart. It's like it wants equality for everyone, but it turns into ugliness. Yeah, that's a good one. The Sea Shepherd, that show, remember how underneath there's all this hatred. Greenpeace is often not that peaceful. Or PETA, they're willing to be violent. So how do we prevent the good impulse of the heart wanting to do something good, save all the cats, the whales, the environment, and it turns violent? We want justice and freedom for all. I mean, so the heart gets hijacked, and in my case, it was thinking if you pour enough energy into people, pour enough truth, insight, come to the seminar and we'll just activate tons of energy for people, which used to happen, especially towards the end. There'd be natural Shaktipat happening in the courses of awakening a couple of years ago. And then, but I realized I was under the misunderstanding of thinking that if you pour enough free money from the government, free Shaktipat from the guru, from the teacher, free blessings, that it'll wake people up. It doesn't. Now I'm talking my experience. It creates vampires. They want to come and lap up the light, lap up the energy, get high. We all know that phenomenon of your temporary high from going to the retreat. Now there's nothing wrong with all that, but so in my heart space, I want to help the world. Let's wake up from all the ridiculous stuff and have free energy and all that. We can't have free energy yet. Tesla tried, God bless him, man out of time, man way before time, because we don't deserve it yet. And so in the park today, walking with Gabriella, who she doesn't need when her and I exchange love and energy, this is Gabriella, Gabba, show your head, show your face, there she is. There's nobody vampiring off each other. Nobody's trying to steal stuff. She has her own life force. She doesn't need to feed off of me. In fact, 1 + 1 is more than 2 when it comes to your dogs and your animals and your cats and nature. It's only the vampire system that we've created with other beings, that some are feeders. So the hijacked heart thinks if I give, this is my opinion and my experience the last few years that God's teaching me, Spirit's teaching me. My masters have told me not to use their names too much. They said don't name drop so much. They're us. We are all one. They very clearly told me a few months ago, said, Tobias, you are us. We are you. We are all one, and they're like, we don't have any illusions. They're beyond that. Masters, the oneness masters, the avatars, Christ, divine mothers, and many, many thousands of saints. So giving our energy to people, you get lots of followers. But it's kind of vampirish. And so they were showing me very clearly at the park today as I'm walking that teaching others to find their own energy source inside their own chakras, inside their own El Dorado, the fountain of life. Okay. That's the only solution. Solution. Soul, S-O-U-L. So the masters are very, very aware of not making you worship them. Now they allow it sometimes. This is my opinion, right? I mean, Shiva and them and so forth. Devotion has its path. It's merging path, devotion. It does. So it's not either or. But they were very clearly showing me that, and I'm talking to myself, it's really my own soul giving myself these insights. I thought with enough energy, effervescence, beauty, but the moths are just attracted to the flame. You know? They come to feed, but they don't start their own fire. It just becomes a sycophantic, fantastic system. Vampire system. So look around at all the gurus and teachers. Now, it's not fault, don't blame any gurus or teachers, because the public wants someone to do it all for them. Witness the magic pill religions. So I just saw it, that I was laboring to the point where, thank you God, thank you universe, thank you my own soul, and those pieces of God that are helping me, they had to stop me. It's like when Carlos Castaneda's working with Don Juan, and Don Juan muses one time after a couple of years of working with Carlos, and Carlos is so fucking thick-headed because he's an anthropology professor at UCLA or whatever, that Carlos, Don Juan looks at himself, thinks to himself and goes, I have to find a way to stop you, right? So when we're on a kick, an idealistic kick, me, guilty, totally, let's wake the world up, the course of awakening, let's do all this, you know, we were ready. We're doing ayahuasca ceremonies, beautiful retreat, and I want to, you know, start doing the big talks where we're going to Shaktipat the whole room, not just intellectual yak. We want to energize the room. That was my idea solution, right? The problem is it turns into a bit of a freak show, a vampire show. Unless we get our own fire starter inside us, you know. So that was my misconception. So I had to be stopped by myself, by my own soul, through physical stuff. My sister didn't give me any quarter, no quarter, Led Zeppelin. The other day I'm telling her, yeah, I'm having some stuff going on still. And she goes, oh. She laughed very beautifully, channeled God source. She goes, Anna, if you see this, you were totally channeled. Now don't let it go to your head. She said, oh, God found a chink in your armor, huh, Tobias? And I'm like, oh, fuck, yeah, that's true, right? In the physical. Sometimes we have to be stopped in order to get away from our misunderstandings. I have to. I'm still there. So this is my confession, really. And I'm still addicted some. I'm doing it on YouTube here. That's still my little bit of an addiction. Could stop at any moment. So that the heart, the good impulses of wanting to save the world, fix, help, can very easily be hijacked into vampire or feeding off situations, gurus, disciples, strange stuff, you know. So Dennis, I don't know what that heartful meditation is, okay? And I don't recommend it till I know what it is. So what I was shown years ago is theheartenergy.com. That's the method I've been shown by God with these quantum fields to work with the heart. And I was shown that a long time ago. So there's lots of misunderstanding. What Dennis is promoting here can be a total hijack. I don't know. It could be good, it could not be good. So the whole point here is the closer you get with wanting love. No, I hear you, Dennis. Don't worry about it. I'm just saying I don't know what it is. And there's the most finest misunderstandings and hijacks are in spiritual circles. Right? And so this is what I'm sharing about thinking what I was doing was very non-judgmental, activation, helping people, glowing reports. It was still me wanting to push energy, me wanting to create energy for others to come feed off of. That's what it turns into. That's not my intention. I wanted them to find their own. My methods are the Inner Body Awakening, the Alchemy Process, and the HeartEnergy.com, all of them, are very much teaching people their own individual process. So those are still very valid. My approach, I've been taught the last 2 years, was still to watch out for people wanting to feed on it. And it's not evil, it's just people want to obviously find something, you know? My grandma wants her glasses back. I like that. What? Should I get like little crystals on the side of them? Like Deepak Chopra? So the hijacked heart. Our good intentions are easily hijacked. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. So that's the thing that I'm learning is you can offer the space and people have to decide to eat themselves and feed themselves and learn for themselves. So all this service often turns bad. People feel good. They get a sort of a spiritual virtue signaling, feeling good. We fed the homeless. When it's in the flow with God's source, it feels awesome. When it's out of a program that I'm trying to overhelp or be a good doobie or bleeding heart, the fruit of it is bitter. By their fruits you shall know them, meaning, did it really help that person get on their feet? Or did you just pour 10, you built them a house, you built them a shelter, you give them free government money, and it's 50,000 homeless people in LA, or 100,000, and they're just doing drugs. It's just drugs. They're just wanting to sedate. Is that helpful? The bleeding heart. So the hijacked heart, for me, very subtle, you know. I would teach about don't do it that way. Be smart heart. But it was still a part of me wanting to do service by helping others wake up, where I had a blind spot thinking this is helpful. But my masters have real, exactly. Yeah, exactly, Grace. So, and it's very subtle. That's the whole point. The intention can be to connect and say, the words can be all that, connect to highest source. That's all my intention. But I still had a program in me that I needed to help others wake up. And God's been very direct with me lately. He says, really, Tobias, do you think I need you? We need you? You don't think we got this? If we make ourselves self-important or significant, I'm on a mission from God to crush the cabal. Now, I'm not going to name names, but you can look at some big names in this. They're there to liberate the planet from the evil cabal. It depends on how it's done. Maybe masters, I'm learning, they do it unattachedly. They don't take sides. They don't judge, quote, the evil, blood-sucking, adrenochrome-drinking reptilians. They understand the game. But when you have the judgment in you against another piece of the universe, you have effectively opposited yourself, opposites yourself. So the heart can get hijacked very easily. Filter this through your own. That was my message this morning. I don't want to belabor it too much. All right. So I'm still doing the webcast. That's it. Very few sessions, only as indicated by Spirit with people. TobiasLars.com. But the webcasts are people, and you asked in the beginning about Kundalini. I am going to do some just special webcasts about Kundalini for those of us going through it. as well. So tobiaslars.com. All right, love you guys. Don't let your heart be or notice the hijacked heart. Ask for wisdom. You don't lose your compassion, but wise heart compassion. I can't get the masters I can't get them to go into the wah-wah. I can't do it. They don't do the wambulance. They don't do the whining. They don't do the lack. They don't do it. We do in our misunderstandings. All right, much love. Before we have more commercials on here, we're going to pause that. Love you guys. More to come. And the webcasts are great. You can get, I think I do them, 10 of them. If you get 10 of them, they're $15 a piece, and about an hour and a half on Sundays. And it's people from around the planet. Not a big group yet, maybe 10, 15 of us, depending on the day. Last week it was, I think we had 8 live people, and people listen later. But that's a place to commune if you want people that are going through real awakening, I would call it. People come and go. You may find that interesting. TobiasLars.com. More to come.